What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this week's world title fight at 147 pounds in Tokyo, Japan, between the WBO world champion Brian Norman Jr. and the Japanese challenger Jin Sasaki.
Nice left hand is with that shot. Goes right.
Guys, before we continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe right now? A lot of you guys who watch my content haven't done that yet. Also, like this video, and right now go down to the bottom of your screen, find that little bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. All right, guys, another great weekend of boxing has ended. Hopefully you listened to my picks and you won money on the Andy Cruz and the Richardson Hitchens stoppages. We're up once again. We also hit a 9-leg parlay. The riskiest fight on that parlay was the Fernandez versus Nunes fight, and we took Fernandez at $1.39, plus some other fights, fattened it up to about a 2-to-1. So hopefully you're paying attention. We can't look in the past too much because we have another big week of boxing ahead. And in this feature, it takes us to Tokyo, Japan. Guys, I love weeknight boxing here in Sydney, Australia. This will be a Thursday night card headlined by the world champion at 147 pounds, the undefeated slugger Brian Norman Jr. He travels over 7,000 miles away from his home in the US to put his belt on the line against the Japanese slugging one-loss Jin Sasaki. So in this video, guys, we're going to break down both fighters. We're going to talk about how they go about their business, go over their resumes, as well as stay tuned to the end of the video because that's where I'll be going over the Las Vegas odds and be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, as of late, we've made a lot of money on the channel with these Japanese cards, Top Rank, the Sugar Nunes fight, and Rikishi. Just yesterday, Andy Cruz stopping Mishiro. And once again, we have another slugging Japanese fighter, the one-loss Jin Sasaki. Guys, Sasaki's one loss comes to another rising star in Andy Hiroka, so there's no shame in that loss. That fight did happen in a lower weight class, and a lot of people in Sasaki's camp say that he was weight trained going into that fight. Since that knockout loss, he's gone on a winning streak. If you look at his resume, hasn't really fought the best competition. I think his best win is probably Joe Noine, the Filipino fighter. You Aussies might recognize that name. Noine is the guy who stopped Liam Wilson down here, and then in the get back, Liam Wilson stopped him. Other than that, this will hands down be A, the biggest fight of Sasaki's career, and B, his biggest step up. When we're talking about Brian Norman Jr., guys, we are talking about the youngest world champion in boxing today, the youngest male. He's 24 years old. The funny thing is, if Sasaki could spring an upset, he's only 23, so he will replace Norman Jr. as the youngest champion. To be able to do that, he has his hands full. Brian Norman Jr. is a front foot fighter. He has knockout power. He does a lot of things really well. He has good feet. And more importantly, one of my favorite things about Brian Norman Jr. is his attitude, the mindset he brings into a fight. You will not see this guy run away or shy away from any smoke. He will bring the fight to Sasaki, and that's why this fight is electrifying for fight fans, because we know Sasaki won't be taking too many steps back as well. When you look at Brian Norman Jr.'s path, this is a guy who went pro at 17 years old. His first 13 fights were in Mexico due to the legislation down there allowing 17-year-olds to fight professionally. Once he turned 18, he started fighting in America. He has no problems traveling. We last saw him knock out Derek Cuevas. So right now I want to take a closer look what's at stake this Thursday in Tokyo, Japan. All right, guys, Atlanta's rising star is ready to defend his championship in the land of the rising sun. Brian Norman Jr. will make the second defense of his WBO welterweight world title against Japanese contender Jin Sasaki on Thursday, June 19th at the Ota City General Gymnasium in Tokyo, Japan. It's a nearly 7,000-mile trip for the 24-year-old Norman, boxing's youngest male world champion, who hasn't fought on foreign soil since 2019. The 23-year-old Sasaki, one of boxing's emerging knockout artists, has fought all but one of his 21 pro fights in Japan. Brian Norman Jr. is a motivated and talented champion who didn't hesitate when offered this opportunity, said Top Rank chairman Bob Arum. Jin Sasaki has power and punches in volume, and their styles will make for a dramatic, action-packed world title showdown. The king from the south comes to take over the world. I like how that sounds, Norman said. On June 19th, I'm ready to put on a stellar performance and write another triumphant chapter of the Norman experience. Guys, there's a lot at stake in the 147-pound division. We know that there's rumors of Boots Ennis. He holds 2 of the belts. It just came out earlier in the week from his camp that he's moving to 154. Nothing is official yet, but you have to think that's gonna happen sooner rather than later, considering how much weight he has to cut, how many rumors there's been circulating around Boots moving up to 54. Now, if that does happen, those belts would be vacated. The only other champion at 47 is Mario Barrios. We know he's getting ready to take on the 46-year-old legend, Manny Pacquiao. So this is a division that has a lot of up-and-coming prospects and contenders, and with Norman Jr. only 24, he has an opportunity to further stake claim as the king of the hill at 147 pounds. So right now I want to take a look at his opponent, the Japanese knockout artist, Jin Sasaki. Guys, Jin Sasaki is 19-1-1 with 17 knockouts. Out of 2,544 fighters in the world at 147 pounds, BoxRec has him ranked number 3. He's fought a total career of 87 pro rounds and carries into the ring an 89% career knockout to win ratio. The Japanese fighter is a 23-year-old orthodox fighter standing at 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. He was born and raised in Hachigo, Tokyo, Japan. We last saw him fight Sakai 29-14, UD in the 12th. Bala 15-1, stopped him in the 7th. Noine 23-3, stopped him in the 5th. Hoshi 5-2, stopped him in the 11th. Obara 26-4, stopped him in the 3rd. When you look at the film study on Sasaki, you're going to see a lot of similarities with a lot of modern Japanese fighters. Guys who want to be in slugfest, guys who have good power for their frame. He's going to be on his front foot. He loves the body work. So if you're leaning on Sasaki and you think he's going to get the job done, I predict that he's definitely going to have to pave the way and land to Norman Jr.'s body early. He's also going to want to stay in the pocket. He doesn't have the best feet. And if we're measuring his footwork versus Brian Norman Jr.'s footwork, he's not going to win that battle. Also, like I said, he does have some technical flaws in his defense. Usually a big body puncher will be there to get hit, especially if the body puncher doesn't set up his body shots. I don't see a lot of jab setups in Sasaki. He likes to get into the pocket and just go at it and trade. We'll see how that works out for him come fight night in Japan. Right now, let's take a look at the champion, the 24-year-old Brian Norman Jr. Guys, Norman Jr. is 27-0 with 21 knockouts. Out of 2,543 welterweights in the world, BoxRec's algorithm has him ranked number 4. He is the WBO world champion at 147 pounds. He's fought a total career of 95 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 78% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the Assassin, and the 24-year-old American is a 5'8" orthodox fighter with a 72-inch reach. He was born in Decatur, Georgia, and calls Conyers, Georgia, USA home. We last saw him fight Derek Cuevas, 27-1-1, stopped him in the 3rd. Gio Santillan, 32-0, knocked him out in the 10th. Boca Chica, 17-2, that was a no contest due to headbutts. Quentin Randall, 13-0, UD in the 10th. Campos, 24-4, UD in the 8th. So before I continue, I do want to mention, give a shout out to one of our subscribers on the channel, David Eister. He did want me to mention in this video that when you're looking at Brian Norman Jr.'s career of his 27 fights, 2 of them have been stopped and declared no contests due to headbutts. One of them happened super early on in his career in Mexico. You see this a lot in the early stages of fighters' careers in terms of getting off balance, being too aggressive on that front foot, and when you have both guys doing that, you'll get head clashes. I should also mention Norman Jr. has added levels upon levels each time we see him fight. He will take one to give one. He has the speed advantage. I give him the power advantage. He is the world champion. He's the better athlete. And if I have to be truthful, I think Brian Norman Jr. is going into this fight with a lot on his side. The only thing that is going against him is the fight taking place in Japan. Also, if the fight were to go to the cards, you'd have to think, how would those scorecards read out versus the traveling fighter versus their hometown kid? When I look at these guys side by side, a lot of the physical attributes are going to cancel each other out, guys. 24, 23, 5'8", 5'8.5". We'll see at the weigh-ins their true height. Their reach, Norman Jr. will have about a 3-inch reach advantage. Like I said, higher level world-class experience goes to the world champion, and the confidence has to be on the world champion's side. Just all things related to never losing and now having the belt around his waist. With the Japanese fighters and Sasaki's game plan, I feel the same thing that makes them great is also their demise. I feel Sasaki's over-aggression is going to work against him. That will be his game plan, to be aggressive against Brian Norman Jr., fight him in the pocket, and he's going to want to slug it out. Brian Norman Jr. will fight that fight. It's going to be interesting to see what game plan Norman Jr. puts out in front of Sasaki, though, because he does have the skills to box him and use the entire ring. But will he do that? Will he adhere to the oblige of the Japanese fighter and engage in a slugfest? I think that's what fans want to see. We'll see what happens early on in the fight. We're going to be able to tell who respects who when each one gets hit with the other one's power. When I'm thinking about my prediction, guys, before we look at these Las Vegas odds, I want to tell you, I'm giving you my money line prediction. Stay tuned to the channel. I do 2 live streams every day. And right now, because it's the beginning of the week, we're building our parlay towards the weekend. I give you my long parlay every week. I also give you my method of victory stoppages parlay every week. So right now, we're just going to go money line. So wherever you are in the world, let's pull those betting apps out right now. All right, guys, currently on the money line, Brian Norman Jr. is the favorite. He's $1.27, meaning you put 100 on him, you get your money back plus 27 bucks. The draw is 15-1. Sasaki's the underdog at 425, meaning you put 100 on him on the money line and you win. You get your money back plus 325. So currently Sasaki's a little bit more than a 3-1 underdog. I'm kind of thinking the way this is going to swing with the odds, considering right now it's Monday in Australia and it's still the weekend in America. I think the closer we get to fight night, those odds are actually going to increase. So if you think Brian Norman Jr. is going to win on the money line, I would put your bets in right now, because I think as we inch closer to fight night, there's going to be more money coming in on Brian Norman Jr. When I think about my prediction, guys, Brian Norman Jr. has won me money over the last 2 years every time he fights, whether it's by decision or stoppage. He's coming off 2 stoppage victories. He's 24 years old. By no means is he even a finished product yet. So that's exciting if you're in the Brian Norman Jr. camp, considering at 24 he's already achieved so much in his young career. Sasaki is going to be there to get hit. He doesn't have the best head movement. He doesn't have the best defense. He'll engage in the pocket without setting it up. He'll sometimes throw to the body without leading with his jab. And I think that is a recipe for disaster against a big punching Norman Jr. Like I said earlier, I'm really confident in leaning on Norman Jr. I think he does everything better than Sasaki. And I think Brian Norman Jr. beats Jin Sasaki. Stay tuned to the live stream, because that's where we're going to be going over the odds and see what we could get back on a Brian Norman Jr. stoppage. Guys, this is not an echo chamber. You do not have to agree with me. Maybe you see something that I don't. Maybe you think Sasaki is going to take the belt and then he becomes the youngest male boxing world champion at 23. Whatever it is, leave all that in the comment section below. Also, guys, stay tuned to the channel, because we have fights all week and all weekend. We're also going to cover the co-main event as well as that top rank card in New Jersey, so stay tuned.